Can I just quote because of what you've just said?
Yes.
And here's what Mr. Acheampong said, and I quote: NDC party will collapse. If the NDC dares to use threats, violence, and foolishness in the 2024 election, we will let them know we have the men. We will show them that we have the men. We have the men. It will never happen that we, the NPP, will stand on a platform to hand over power to the NDC. It will never happen. We will make sure NPP remain in government at all cost. And this is what you say you absolute support as a party.
I don't know whether this quote is you have edited it, but let me tell you what I have, because there are portions of it you left out, and
Okay.
as I said, I was there and
Just
I heard it. Yes.
just for clarity, this is unedited. I'm just reading portions.
No,
of
I'm
this-
coming.
this
That is why I'm
statement.
saying that what he said, there were portions where he said that if the NDC thinks that they are going to win power because of the economic turmoil we are going through, it is not true, because now we are seeing glimpse of economic recovery. We have seen petrol prices coming down. We have seen a turnaround in the economic management. But I didn't hear that in your quote, because I said I was right there. So two things.
Well, but
contain the
to
statement.
be
Let
fair
me-
to
let me
me,
two
I'm not.
things.
I didn't say I was quoting the entire statement that
Oh,
Bryan
that is
shared.
what
I
he
said
He
I was
said that
I was
for purposes
stating
of clarity, you would
portions
want
of it. Yeah.
I'm coming, Mama, please. I listened to you very well. You said that for purposes of clarity, you would want to quote it, because I had earlier stated categorically that the New Patriotic Party, we support it. And I was going to go ahead to explain why we support it. Two major issues are contained in what Honorable Bryan Acheampong said. First of all, yes, he said that if the NDC thinks that we are going to use violence and threats, we are going to be stopped. Look, we have heard, we are in this country, and I'm surprised that sometimes when you hear this, you put the deaf ear to these things. The former president himself said that the NDC is a revolutionary party. They were born out of violence, and they're not afraid of violence. Recently, he's been heard saying that it's going to be put for put, and that the polling station is going to be hot. Not only that, their own national chairman said that even if they have blood, they're going to sacrifice it. Recently, this small boy who was arrested in Swami, saying that we're going to kill for power. When he was arrested and he was released on bail, he was granted bail, they celebrated him. A lot of their national officers are running around making statements that seeks to frighten the electorate. So what Honorable Bryan Acheampong was telling them is that, look, if you think that you are going to use violence, and if you think that you are going to use threats, then you'll be stopped. And on the issue of we not handing power over to them, he promised that on the economic recovery, economic turnaround that we are seeing, specifically he mentioned the stabilization of the city, and he also mentioned the falling prices of fuel. So yes, we are very confident that because of this, because we are going to manage it, because we are going to see a turnaround, we are not going to hand power over to them. I mean, this is a fair statement. He didn't say that even if NDC wins, we are not going to hand power over to them. This is a positive statement, and for that, this has energized our base. That yes, that is the thinking of the NDC. They are thinking that, look, the economic situation should keep worsening by the day, so that politically they would have a certain chance to win the elections. That is their belief. That is their mantra. That is what they've been running around singing. That is the chorus they have. So we are saying that, look, if it is the economy, then forget it. We are not going to hand power over to you.
So, Nanabi, it's interesting your interpretation that you put to this because we played a recording of Mr. Tachia, who was also on the same platform. He spoke last night on the probe with MFR Power, and he said, well, Bryan's comments were just something that politicians say. He didn't mean it. But you seem to suggest...
I am the national organizer I organized it. I've not heard Honorable Acheampong's comment. It can be his personal view. I am telling you the position of the party, that the party fully endorses it, and that is the interpretation as contained in those statements. And that is how come I've said that two major issues. The first one, he premised the fact that if the NDC thinks that they are going to use threat and violence and they are going to be stopped. The second one, he also mentioned in his statement how we are seeing a turnaround in the economy, and if NDC thinks that we are going to win the power based on the economic turmoil we're going to go through or we are going through, then we are not going to hand power over to them because we are going to manage them. Well,
so the purposes of clarity again, and as part of Bryan Acheampong's comments, where he says it will never happen, we will make sure NPP remain in government at all cost. You're saying that is in contest, so you support it, you stand by it as a political party?
We stand by it, yes. We are going to make sure that at all costs we manage the economy very well, we do what we have to do to win. But if we are going to play football, and we say that, look, whatever it takes, we are going to win. It is a positive statement.
How is that positive when you say you are going to win at all cost, whatever it takes?
That's not positive. If you are energizing yourself, you are going to make it at all cost.
So let's explain the whatever cost, at all cost.
If you have a set of goals for yourself, and you say that, look, you're going to make sure that you do whatever it takes to make sure you achieve.
Will that include violence?
Well, is it the case that you intend to put a negative interpretation on it? Maybe your mindset is that you are taking the negative part. You think that there's a certain negative twist on it. You won't take it. No.
Okay, so let's clear this, Nana B. At all cost may also include violence. So clear it for us. Would it include violence?
No, at all. No. That is the more reason why he had said that if they think that they are going to use violence and threat, then they are going to be stopped. No. Whatever it takes legally within the framework of the laws, we are going to win the elections.
So when he says it will never happen that we, the NPP, will stand on a platform to hand over power to the NDC, we shouldn't take it literally.
No. What I'm trying to say is that he had already premised the statement on the economic recovery we are seeing. So he had even made an introductory statement to this comment that, look, the NDC thinks that we are going to win power because of the economic problems we are going to go through. But now we are seeing signs. So on that matter, we are not going to hand power over to them. Why would you want to dwell on a negative aspect? No, he was very positive. And we fully endorse it.
So the NDC issued a statement. They're calling for his arrest. What's your reaction?
It is a cry of a baby. You see, for them, they have a problem with their party leadership, especially for somebody like Fifi Kwete. They issued a similar statement to their own party members of parliament that they should not endorse Honorable Bryan Acheampong. So when he was endorsed, they were peeved. It created some cracks in the party. So in the background, what they are saying is that we told you not to endorse Honorable Bryan Acheampong. It appears that maybe Honorable Bryan Acheampong's persona frightens them. Maybe that is the case, because for me, the statement as released by Honorable Fifi Kwete is a cry of a baby. Yeah, I don't see any. I see nothing in this statement.
A former leading member.
They just want to make noise out of it. That is all.
A former leading member of the NPP, Nyahota Maklo, has called out Bryan Acheampong. He says the statement are irresponsible, violent, destructive, and senseless.
Who is Nyahota Maklo?
He's a statesman.
Please, let's move on.
So you disregard his comments?
He doesn't speak for the party. He's not part of the New Patriotic Party. I mean, he's been making a lot of, unwholesome attacks on the New Patriotic Party.
But you recognize that he is a former leader of the party?
I do not recognize that. As a party, we have rules and regulations. We have duties by a member. So if you have a penchant of putting the party's name in disrepute, any second, any platform you have, it doesn't make you. I don't see it that way. I don't regard it.
So you say the calls for Bryan Acheampong to be arrested by the NDC?
Probably, I'm even surprised that the whole political party, like the NDC, you will call for the arrest.
So you don't find his comment treasonable? You don't find his comment treasonable because that's exactly the term they use.
He was born out of violence, out of revolution. You have in your DNA violence. Muhammad said boot for boot. So when the Sedum says that our blood, we will sacrifice our blood, then they should be arrested first. Arrested for what? Arrested for what? What exactly?
All right. Well, Mr. Henry Nana Boakye, we'll leave it here.
No, Mobby, I was asking. They are saying they are calling for his arrest for what? For what offense?
The comments are treasonable, they say.
How is this comment treasonable? Do they understand treasonable offense?
You are the lawyer. Tell us.
That is what I'm trying to say, that this whole thing is just a baby cry. They just want to be heard. They just want to be heard. What we have said, Mobby, let me repeat. Two important issues contained in the statement. That look, we have institutions, we Ghana, we are blessed, we have the men who stop any political party that intends to visit mayhem or cause violence in any elections. So on that basis, if the NDC thinks that, oh look, we are a violent political party, we are born out of violence, we are a revolutionary party, it's going to be boot for boot, blood will flow, it's not going to happen. It will be stopped. Secondly, if it is in their view that because of the economic problems we are going through, they are going to win elections, they are saying no. We are managing the economy very well. And it is our belief, strong belief, that we are managing the economy very well and are going to hand power over to the next MPP flag bearer. That is what is contained in the statement.
All right. Well, we'll have to leave it here. Thank you very much for joining us. That's the national organizer of the NPP, Henry Nana Boakye. And now we have confirmation. Party is in support of Bryan Acheampong's comment. Are you surprised, Ray?
Maybe. Well, I think to all intents and purposes, that's what political parties do. But what they have failed to do is to learn from the experience of the past. That these comments tend to hurt the party rather than promote its good. These comments tend to make the party look desperate. It makes it look like you are in some wanton search, and it makes you avoid the main conversation, which is today about the hardship people face in this country. So yeah, we might spend a long time having a back and forth on whether it's proper or improper interpretation that are put to these words, and
we miss the real issues.
Yes.
The butter and bread matters.
And see, it was I would have preferred and that the tone is more conciliatory, be it on the side of the NDC or the NPP. These general, I call it grandstanding, it doesn't help anybody. See, we should advance beyond that. Our country's elections are held, it comes to pass, nobody kills anybody, nobody cares about it. We have an incident where in the last election some people died, a matter that's still unresolved up to today. So when you create and you further an environment, and we've had in this republic so many elections, it's not now that we are coming to raise the tension and make it look like every single thing is on the table when it comes to this conversation. Ghanaian politicians can up the ante, they can improve the standards, they can elevate it more. When you reduce it to, oh, I can prevent you from being sworn in now, no, it begs the question. The question remains, how do we lift our people out of the current situation we find ourselves? And I'm insisting that the Agri Minister had a wonderful opportunity to outline to us today the very wonderful things that they are doing to improve food price in the country, rather than spend quality time and insisting that, because the power does not lie in the hands of the minister to actually transfer power. He plays no role at all, in all fairness. He might write and submit, handing over notes, but there are constitutional provisions, there are laws in this country that ensures transition, and no individual can take the law into their own hands and use grandstanding nice words, terrible words to quote it and remodel that. We have advanced beyond that kind of conversation, and we can do better. Their colleagues in other countries are discussing policy.
Ray, I don't think we should end this here. We need to get some more analysis, particularly from the security angle. Should we still say this is some tough guy bravado commentary, or we should take this serious? Should we? That's the other angle that we want to explore. But our big stories here on the Super Morning Show, brought to us by Vodafone, Further Together, latest from Your Partner for Life, and Belmont by CPL Developers, the ultimate luxury experience. So exciting news. Vodafone Cash now allows payment to all merchant numbers on other networks. Remember how frustrating it was when you couldn't make payments for goods and services because Vodafone Cash was not acceptable to merchant numbers on other networks? Well, Vodafone Cash users can now relax and make payments to merchants on all networks. Here's how you do it. Dial *110#. Select option 1, which is send money. Select option 2, other networks, and follow the prompt to send money. Experience the ease of transacting on Vodafone Cash. Dial *110# at any time to send money to all merchant numbers. Use Vodafone Cash today. And if you're looking for 1, 2, 3 L-shaped sofa crafted to the finest details, available in your favorite colors. You need it for your home, your office, or perhaps your hotel. Are you looking for comfort, durability, quality, and perfect finishing? Then your destination should be Latest Foam. Latest Foam is your one-stop shop, whatever your choice, and most importantly, budgets. But Latest Foam says, listen, don't do business, don't trade on social media. Certainly don't make payments of our product on social media. If you're looking for a high quality product, just go to any of our showrooms. Latest Foam also has accredited dealers across the country. Get there and grab their high quality products. Latest Foam is your partner for life. And welcome to Belmont, where luxury meets comfort. If you're in the market for a home that combines class, convenience, and comfort, then look no further than Belmont. Belmont is located in the prime East Legon area off Lagos Avenue. The Belmont stylish apartment offers first-class luxury and cutting-edge finishing. Whatever you're looking for an executive studio, suite, or a cozy 1-bedroom apartment, a spacious 2-bedroom apartment, or a custom villa, we have you covered. But that's not all. Belmont also offers a range of top-notch facilities to relax and keep you entertained. So why wait? Take the first step towards your dream home today. Mortgage purchases are available with a 20% down deposit and the rest on completion. Contact Belmont on 020-434-3011, 020-434-3011, or 020-434-3015. That's 020-434-3015. Call them, learn more. Belmont is developed by CPL. There's more coming up here on the show. In the meantime, we would want you to send us your comment on the conversations that we're having here on the Super Morning Show. So 055-1111-997. You can send us tweets and at the hashtag #JoySMS.
Imagine running a business with 24/7 dedicated internet as well as calls to both local and international corporate clients at very affordable prices. Whatever your objectives, Airtel Tigo Business can help you through services like FlexiNet mobile broadband, among others. Call us at 0577-555-000 or email us at business@airteltigo.com.gh. Airtel Tigo Business, your total business solutions provider.
Are you tired of feeling left behind when it comes to your finances? Have no worries. CitiSpay is here. We provide credit solutions for both business owners and salary workers. We offer loans within 24 hours at the lowest rate. Visit our website www.citispay.com.gh and choose what is right for you. Call us on 0595-738121. CitiSpay. We leave no one behind.
Introducing the new Techno Spark 10 series. Enjoy a long-lasting 5000 mAh battery capacity plus 18 watts charging pack in an ultra-sleek 6.7-inch Full HD screen with a storage galore of 256GB plus 8GB. You can save every memory and never lose any. 32 megapixels glowing selfie camera and 50 megapixels AI rear camera. Get your Techno Spark 10 series. Visit the nearest Techno accredited shop and join the glowing selfie gang.
Imagine say water wake up at dawn, e no bath, e no chop, where e vanish for your area for 2 weeks. You no get one drop safe inside your tank.
Hey. Haja, our life was in dangerous.
Only our neighbor get water with water tank.
Water tank?
Yes, water tank. Mamma mia, that water tank get meter for checking water level. That water tank be fine past Kumasi Selendion. That water tank be tough like Ghana Army. That water tank they carry water pepe, so say some no go left inside the supply tank. What a tank! As my boss, Mr. Poncho, go talk.
Beautiful, durable, with water level indicator and accurate volume of water. Water tank. What a tank! By Duraplast.
There's something special happening at Heritage Christian College. Their bustling campus is right in the heart of Amasaman, just behind the Olympic Stadium, and it will amaze you what they are doing there. Heritage Christian College is churning out academic excellence with their comprehensive range of degrees, including Bachelor of Business Administration programs, IT, and theology. Don't forget to ask about their professional programs and short courses. What makes Heritage special? Heritage Christian College takes the academic experience further than ever with one laptop per student, flexible fee payment, entrepreneurial training with financial support, all delivered by a caring faculty working to develop your character and your intellect. Admissions are in progress, so call today on 054 7777 731 and get accepted. For more information, go to hcuc.edu.gh. Heritage Christian College, a university educating compassionate entrepreneurs. Leaders.
Celebrate this month of Easter with Melcom and save more on your cities always when you shop on items ranging from groceries, electronics, homeware, kitchenware, furniture, home decor, and many more. Terms and conditions apply. Melcom, where Ghana shops.
Imagine you had the power to impact the world around you. At the British Council, we see students from all over the world with dreams of a bright future, coming together for a quality of education that achieves goals. Those who study abroad in countries like the UK are getting much more than a degree. They are getting a world of valuable experiences. Find out how the IELTS test from the British Council can help you own your future. Visit the British Council website today.
It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town. It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town.
Definitely the best breakfast show in town. How is the holiday? Like, how are you? What's cooking? What are you planning? But whatever you do, please keep 1 p.m. open.
Yes.
Because we're going to serve our friends at the Wager Leprosarium. That sounds good.
And we'll also eat some.
Yeah. Yes. So this is Joy 99.7 FM, and this is the Super Morning Show. We're going to stay with this subject, Raymond, of the comments by Bryan Acheampong, that now we know the MPP party endorses.
So the politicians have had their say. And you first said from the NDC, right? We are hearing from the NPP. Perhaps the understanding was that they were going to say, oh, I mean, this was just something that, as Atachia said, political talk. But Nana B is not saying it's political talk at all.
Yeah.
He believes that this is the reality that they intend following. Perhaps an independent thought, more sober, more reflective, more, intellectually stimulating will make it.
Right. Well, I think we have the perfect guest for that. Dr. Ishmael Norman is joining us. He's the president of the Institute for Security, Disaster and Emergency Studies. Dr. Ishmael Norman, if you can hear me, a very good morning to you. Good morning to you, sir. Okay.
Maybe there's a problem with the.
All right. I don't think we have him yet. So we will bring him on when we get him. We also have Dr. Nana Boakye, Executive Director, Institute for Democratic Governance, IDEC, also joining us. But first, we know that life is go, and that it is hard really to make time for the things that really count. So we won't let banking get in your way. That's why with Access Digital Channels, you can bank when, where, and how you want, so you can focus on what or who is important to you. Banking has never been easier. Transfer funds into your savings account, pay your old school union dues and your DSTV subscription, and many more with a click on your phone. Get things done simply with Access Digital Channels. That's Africanacity. That's APSA. Terms and conditions apply. Visit apsa.com.gh for further details. And are you ready for your once in a lifetime holiday experience? Then it's time for you to make South Africa your next destination, to write your own travel stories while exploring our stunning hidden gems. South African Tourism extends an invitation to you to explore our picturesque country, sunny shores and stunning landscapes. Visit our country and find diverse experiences such as culinary delights, cultural tours, adventures with your loved ones, and amazing shopping sprees. On the moment in South Africa, visit southafrica.net to find out how. All right, I think we can now go to the phone lines and join Dr. Ishmael Norman, who is now joining us via phone. We also have Dr. Nana Boakye, Executive Director of IDEC. Gentlemen, a very good morning to you. Happy Easter.
Good morning, Mama V. Good to hear your beautiful voice. Happy Easter to you also. And Raymond, you are included in a happy Easter greeting.
Good morning.
Thank you for including him. I wouldn't have.
Oh.
Dr. Norman, I didn't think we will be having this conversation on a beautiful Easter Monday holiday. I'm sure you heard Bryan Acheampong's comment. He's MP. He's also a minister and a former Minister of State in charge of national security. Should we just categorize it as a tough guy, bravado, political party person on a stage talking to his people and just making comments that he really doesn't believe in?
Yeah. Mama B, our constitution actually is quite flexible on freedom of speech. And what Mr. Acheampong was saying is actually his opinion and not the opinion of the party. And the statement, his opinion, is definitely inconsistent with the constitutional framework of when to hand over power to the winning party. Political posturing, as he was doing, is not against the law. In fact, to be fair, NDC has also done some political posturing that they have a violent past. So if this is what MPP want, they can respond in equal measure. Both of them are allowed to make such speeches. However, there is a thin line between energizing the political base and weaponizing them. If this kind of talk continues, then Mr. Acheampong himself will be considered to be an unethical political leader, because a leader would adhere to the rule of law and comply with what they say. So both of them cannot afford to alienate us, the population or the voters. So for the meantime, I think it's just posturing. However, the security agencies must be super alert, because their work is already cut out for them. It's going to be now, wow. So we all know that. For lead to election is going to be in a while.
Dr. Norman, it's interesting you say this was Bryan Acheampong speaking in his personal capacity. A while ago, I spoke to Henry Nana Boakye, who is the national organizer of the NPP, and he says the party endorses Bryan Acheampong's comment. So it's become a party matter now.
Oh, okay. Then that is something else that we all have to be worried about. Because if this is what the party is saying, then I think NDC should also get itself prepared. And the people of Ghana should be more discerning and tell these two parties, if you don't yield to good order and speak politely to each other, us will not vote in the election. And we've seen that before in this country. So I think it is a very irresponsible position to be taken. I don't think any political party should go out and say, we support what you are doing, like in America, Donald Trump's instigation of January 6th. The Republican Party didn't say, we come to support you. They didn't publicly declare that. So for the party hierarchy to say that they support him, this is sad. This should not be. This is an act of desperation. However, we are so far away from 2024, this kind of posturing is going to happen. The Peace Council is not going to allow it to continue. The Chief Imam's office is not going to sit idle and let it happen. There are so many institutions that have interest in a peaceful election. They will all weigh in and put pressure on these parties to conform to good behavior. I believe that. So, meanwhile, the supporters are making a lot of noise, but when we're getting close to, when they realize that the voters will not go for this kind of talk, this kind of conduct, they will chill. I believe that they will chill.
I'll come back to you, Dr. Norman, especially when you say we should prepare, the NDC should prepare. My question is, prepare for what? But let me bring in Dr. Emmanuel Akwete. He's Executive Director for IDEC. Dr. Akwete, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning.
Hello, Dr. Akwete.
Hello.
Okay, I think I can faintly hear you, so we're going to correct that and then bring you back into the conversation. But Dr. Norman, what should we prepare for? What should the NDC prepare for?
Well,
hello.
If somebody says, if I meet you on the road, I'm going to beat the crap out of you, you don't just allow him to do that, would you? It would be totally unwise for them also not to get themselves ready in case violence comes, which is not what we want. This is where Ghana police should actually come in, that they should moderate the behavior, the conduct of these two dominant political parties. Ghana is not for either of them. Ghana is for we, the people. And so we can't allow them to become irresponsible and push this country to the brink of self-implosion. So I think the Ghana police, in order not to be seen as regime agency, they should, if they go beyond the limits of free speech, they should arrest whoever is arousing the public to violence. Somebody pulls a gun in a public day. Somebody threatens a minister or the president, the person is arrested the next day or called in for questioning. Why hasn't Mr. Acheampong been called for questioning? And when they make these kinds of speeches, it is not just to energize the base. It is preparing them. It is them step by step. And it will get to the point where the center cannot hold and the violence will erupt. We've seen it in Kenya with Riley Odinga's supporters. We've seen it in other places. We've seen it even in our own country. Why do we go to Kenya? So we have to really pay attention. Christian Council, Muslim Council, the Peace Council, whichever council can bring pressure to bear on these political parties to behave themselves as adults, competing for one thing, the attention of the voters. They should do it right. Because if this is how it's going to go, I myself, I would never vote for any one of them. And every Ghanaian has a duty and the right to say that if you go on this violent path, we will not vote. It's that simple.
Okay, Dr. Norman, I'll come back to you. I think we can now speak to Dr. Emmanuel Acheampong. Apologies for the poor connection there. I think that now we can speak to you because we have a better connection. Dr. Acheampong, good morning.
Good morning, Mamali.
All right, great. Thank
But
you.
You know, give me the points I've lost.
From Dr. Norman?
So,
all the time?
Yes. He took my time and he's my good friend. So I think we should be.
Please go ahead. I just want to ask if we should dismiss or take these comments serious.
Both. Do both. Do both because it should be dismissed. I think Bryan Acheampong, the Honorable Member of Parliament and now also a minister, that's if they've been sworn in, is in a very sensitive position, has a history or association with what happened in 2019. I also was foregone if you listen to the commission's proceedings and so on, and which also cost him his job as a minister in the presidency for security. Mm-hmm. And so what should make us relax is that in the Ministry of Agriculture, he's not in a position to mobilize as he was alleged to have mobilized MPP militants in the 2019 IASO West Wagon elections. There's a Minister of Security who is so cool and he talks peace all the time, has several meetings with civil society leaders and has various other groups and so on. So I do not think he's in a position to act, except if probably he wants to finance the radical elements, the vigilantes. But
yes, but Dr. Acheampong, he has party support, especially grassroots support.
Well, grassroots don't make policy, and grassroots, you see, we're in a different stage today in 2023 than we were in 2019 when everybody was taken by surprise. It was the immediately retired Commissioner of Police, Kofi Boakye, who said at the New Year school that, hey, vigilantes are growing, the numbers, and the two parties are arming them. And if civil society and other organizations don't speak against this, it might be difficult for the police alone to control. But since then, we've had an anti-vigilantism law. The question is its enforcement. But not only that, we've also had a little bit more in terms of violence and the risk. Just before the 2020 elections, we also had the armed forces tell us that if violence breaks up and it cannot be controlled, the armed forces will step in to defend our democracy, national integrity, and unity. These three things they put together. And I think there is considerable alertness, which means that the MPP may be in government, but its vigilantes cannot easily get up and say we've captured the police headquarters and Burma camp and we are now in control. At what radio station is that going to be? So I am saying that the infrastructure exists to deal with these matters, plus the mobilization of civil society groups and institutions, as my brother Norman said. You know that everybody is engaged against violence in elections. Women's Aglo praised 4 years. After every election, they continue. Organized labor, NGOs, chiefs, kings, and so on. So we've crossed that path where, you know, I think our vigilance is at a level that this can be dealt with, and the police rather would expect the police and the National Election Security Task Force and so on equipped properly to deal with this. But there's a point. Given that he's a minister and he's a member of parliament, and he makes the statement, it cannot be taken lightly and given the precedent or antecedent. And that is why I endorse the point that the police ought to invite him for interrogation. Probably this is something that should be done, and the public fully aware and seen and informed, so that it will deter further action. I also think that the stage we are now, as I said, we are not immediately towards December. I don't know if elections will be in December or November in 2024. but we have enough time to also deal with this mobilization of vigilantes and the militant wings of the parties and so on and so forth. And it is good enough time for the police to step up maybe. But finally, I think the person to speak is the president on this matter, and his ability to dismiss it as not his policy is extremely important, because he took action against Bryan Acheampong. The committee report, you remember the short commission report on what happened and how they were mobilized and so on, didn't get fully implemented. Other things were rejected as they overstepping their boundaries. But there's a precedent. In 2008, the 2008 elections, that led us to the handover to PNDC in 2009. You know, we had 3 presidential elections. The question of handing over or not is settled by the president. And President Kufuor, at the critical moment, said, hey, my fellow MPPs, go to court if you have issues. But for me as president, I would hand over according to the Constitution. He's there to uphold the Constitution, and we expected him to do that. And he set the precedent. And I think that would also be done. And therefore, we shouldn't panic out of, something going to happen. And so we should rather be vigilant and ensure that the police and the National Election Security Task Force, which includes the armed forces and all, also do their work, maybe start early and tackle these kinds of statements that are made on both sides, both MPP and NDC.
Dr. Acheampong, would you still expect the president to make some comments on this, condemn it, when the party has come out to say, through our conversation with Henry Nana Boakye, the national organizer of the NPP, that they are in full support of Mr. Acheampong's comments?
Oh, who is he compared to the president? And so we should know who speaks. And things happen. That's why I gave the example of President Kufuor in 2009, when he told the nation and his own party that he's going to hand over as the Constitution requires, and that if they have issues, they should head for the courts, and the court was ready. And so I think this statement is made. If he is not the president, has made this statement, some people say disregard it, but because of the past, and the position he occupies is the president that put him in that office. There are 2 things. The president probably could say, hey, this statement you've made is not cabinet decision. Your position requires that you would not make such statements, so step down. He can do that. I'm not saying he's going to do. I don't know if he's going to do that. But the stability of the nation and our democracy, the handing over process that comes through, the president plays a very key role as not only head of government, as commander-in-chief, and as head of state. So he's the president who is speaking about constitutional reforms, or reform of local government and other things, and how he wants to get it done if consensus will be built. So it is not Bryan Acheampong. He's higher up there, representing the nation and the state. And I think it's important that on this matter, he puts it to rest quickly by saying, no, this is not our agenda. And so that we can focus on the issues of how to solve our problems, finance, stability, peace, people's well-being, and so on.
Right. Dr. Norman, you say that Mr. Acheampong should be questioned by the police. NDC issued a statement. They're asking for treasonable charges to be leveled against him. Are you speaking the same language as the NDC?
Happy Easter to Dr. Acheampong, and I associate with just about everything that he has said. So I am not saying the same thing as this is not treasonable yet. Treason is a serious matter. We shouldn't just be using it like that. He is actually within the remit of freedom of speech. So allow him to get a little bit excessive with his language, because that's what freedom of speech is all about. Sometimes we may not like to hear what the other side is saying, but we have to hear it so that we can prepare for it, so that we can take the interventions that are necessary for it. So I think I won't go that far. But I think also that what Mr. Acheampong said is a continuation of all die, be die. And so I agree with Dr. Akote that the president needs to address this so that we don't think that there is a nexus between all die, be die, and we won't hand over power. Is this a coup they are planning? This is serious. It's not reasonable yet. But imagine if an ordinary policeman has said that, that person will be interdicted immediately. Imagine I have said that. I will be called for questioning. So I call on Dr. Dampare, my good friend. He's been doing a good job. I know it's a very difficult position to be, but he needs to put his foot down and call Mr. Acheampong for face-to-face conversation. I wouldn't even call it an arrest. Or go to Mr. Acheampong's office and interview him, because we need to know how far he's willing to take his threat so that we can take the proper action against such development. So I think the issues have been addressed quite adequately by my brother, who knows a lot about democracy than I do. So I am quite satisfied with his submission and all the conversation we're having this morning.
Well, we're quite satisfied as well, Dr. Ishmael Norman. We'll leave it here. Thank you so much. Dr. Akwete, any final thoughts you want to share?
I think we're going to have a lot of this coming. Violence is escalating. We want anti-vigilante laws to be enforced. But how long can we mobilize totally for peace in elections? You know, we haven't looked at the cost of the civil aspect of the anti-violence campaign. It's huge. And in the situation we are in West Africa, it's not a good time to even entertain parties who wouldn't hand over power, they lost elections, because we are vulnerable. The jihadists are around us. Burkina, we've seen coups and all that. And so we need all the attention and unity of purpose, MPP, NDC, and their followers, and all of us to assist the state, armed forces, security officials, and so on, to keep us safe and protected. West Africa is in a different situation, and any disturbance of division would open our borders to other forces to come in. So the statement should be condemned. I think going forward too, we think that it is possible for the president to lead reforms that should take place and change the tenor of the 2024 elections. You know, there's been discussions over constitutional amendments and so on. Because we mention the Constitution always, we forget that reforms of institutions are so important. In a recent CDD Afro post-election survey, I think 2021, they said that two findings were very important and significant. Much as people want to elect chief executives, MMDCs, without the participation of parties, there were 71% of those who said that. But there was a higher number. 78% of Ghanaians said the local government system is not working. And that's a higher number. But because they are all in the 70s, that tells you that they want two things to be done. If local government is not working, fix the institutions, but also open it up to democracy, other parties. And you reform the framework for parties to come into local government. It's not just like they walk in and then start doing what they're going. No, that's why for IDEC we say that let EC look at elections, but you need a body that we might call Multi-Party Democracy Commission or so on, to also do the non-electoral space of governance, where they call the parties to attention and enforce the laws, whether it's their funding, whether it's their behavior, and let us see if we can also push them in a development track apart from elections. Because they've suffered, whether we like it or not, since 1964. There's always a coup against parties and repression and all that. So for us, we can have these decisions made. The one decision that will change everything, okay, we would elect and we would reform the institutions. That one decision is a referendum. The president says if we all would come to a point of building consensus, he would go forward with it. But he also qualified. He met CSOs as part of the consultation on the IMF and the economic situation. And he said, well, if the evidence of consensus has been built and is there, he will go for it, because that decision that will be made by the people, not their representatives in parliament, will be binding on every successor government to implement. And so it's a very powerful weapon, that we have, which is constitutional. It's part of our rights. Furthermore, and the last point is this: we have done 30 years of our democracy. We've celebrated it. But the next 30 years, there is a generational shift, a generational leadership transition. It's the youth. Most of the people in charge now are going on retirement. The new 30s are the ones taking up. Highly educated, frustrated. They want to see the development dividends. They are the majority voters. And they are also the people in the maverick regions where, you are not guaranteed you get a second vote and so on. It is time to mobilize them. They should see a future in this democracy if we can put the reforms in place. And I think it can be done before the 2024 elections. There are some people who say that, hey, because of the risk of these two parties fighting and, weapons and so on and so forth, we shouldn't talk reform. No, this is the time to get those voters who are now the emerging leaders, and some have emerged already, to see that their vote in the referendum will transform the Fourth Republic as a democracy, but also put it on a development track. All these are there. We are happy to engage people on this, and we think that that is what we need to move away from violence in every elections. Peace council, chief imam, women, youth, things, crying, singing. What? God is even tired about this, because so you give us the wisdom to do the right thing. That's it.
Amen. Dr. Nana Boakye, thank you. Very grateful for your time. Thank you for the thoughts that you share with us. Dr. Nana Boakye is Executive Director, Institute for Democratic Governance. We also had Dr. Ishmael Norman, who is a security analyst, also sharing his thought. I think we've had the perfect, appropriate guest on this issue in terms of resource persons, and they've dealt with the issues really well. Dr. Norman is calling for, and I think Dr. Acheampong also says the same, the police to invite Bryan Acheampong. Dr. Norman says we're not at the treason level yet. We haven't gotten there. But the IGP must have a conversation with Bryan Acheampong.
Let's start from the point where, and you see, that's really the thing that happens in this country. So a politician makes an unguarded comment. The opposite side calls his bluff, like Mustafa Bande did earlier today. Then his people come to defend it. No attempt to move to the middle. So we don't have so much of entrenched values in our politics. Ideally, when we all consider it wrong, no matter where you belong to, and that's what's done elsewhere, they will come out and say, we don't support this. This is not the standards we built for ourselves. Multi-party democracy actually reflects a certain belief at the core in the rule of law. That anything that suggests that, or even hints at, or even gives the appearance that we will not be following, or will not be interested in following the rule of law, is rejected, because the parties are the major beneficiary of the rule of law. Without that, you think of how we would have been having precedents in this country. One of the groups that suffer most when our constitution is overthrown or thrown to the dogs is that of political parties. Their MPs are sacked from parliament. Their representatives are asked to report to the police stations. Some of them are arrested, some of them are killed at the end of the day. So it is in their interest too that we are in this democratic experiment that we are in, and that we are building it and improving it. So the expectation is that any words that sounds, even the slightest of indication that we are drifting away from that, people would abandon that, and we all move towards the middle. There were Republicans who decried January 6th event. You get the point. Yeah. Their own party, but they decried it. They said it was not standard, it was inappropriate. Listen to what the vice president said. I will go through the process. We are going to hand over. And this was in the USA. And the expectation is that there are some unimpeachable fundamentals of our state that we cannot throw away, like handing over, like a peaceful transition. Those things, we don't even have to discuss them. They are given. If you lose, you go. That's what we have agreed to. Now, when it appears that political parties are only interested in standing with their own, no matter whose ox is God, it suggests that they don't understand what we are doing seriously, or they don't take us serious, because we are not getting the dividends of our democracy. And that's what Dr. Acheampong talked about, that a younger generation is more interested in the dividends of our democracy, and not your pretense that when you do elections, everything is resolved. But if you're not getting the dividends, even the electoral democracy you are represented with, you want to destroy that one too. That signal is inappropriate. And I'm saying political parties should not be the people who are the major beneficiaries of this process, should not be the people fostering or creating an impression that will throw it to the dogs. Again, it always comes to the very civilized side of our society, Dr. Norman, Dr. Acheampong, trying to bring us back on course. Why do we have irresponsible politicians? Is it our own making? Do we deliberately go out there to vote for them? Because at some time, we are either playing accomplices or we don't know what we are doing. Why is it that we don't elect responsible politicians? Those who discuss policy, given any opportunity. Those who are more interested in the growth and development of the people. Why is it always about who wins the next election? And the evidence has suggested that when they win the elections, they don't even improve the lives of the people anyway. So exactly what is it within that space? Is it for their own good, for their friends and family? Is that why everybody has to collapse? Everything has to be collapsed in this country? Because ideally, the thinking is that anybody goes into politics to get to the end of helping improve the lives of the people. But it appears that in Ghana, the first thing is myself, my immediate family, my friends, then maybe the people who are outside within the larger family bracket. Before everybody else outside that bracket is considered. Why should I participate in killing anybody, or maiming anybody, or destroying democracy for it to get to these ends?
Well, important issues you raised there, questions you ask, Raymond. Listen, why don't you join us with your thoughts? Send us messages, WhatsApp messages on 055-1111-997. Your tweets are also welcome at the hashtag JoySMS. This is the Super Morning Show on Easter Monday. Stay with us.
She's so close to the boss, they whisper. The PA is so lucky, they think. It's only 9 a.m. and you've already gone through 3 meetings, 12 phone calls, and a low-calorie breakfast. You only survive each week thanks to speed lunches and power naps. It makes you wonder, how many steps have I taken up the corporate ladder? But you've got this. Wake up your vim with Lucozade. Because with Lucozade, you always make it through. Lucozade, restore your energy. This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, Bra Kofi, your ceiling be smooth, bright and fine, Papa.
That's an understatement. It dey blink like 80 carats white gold. This be Interface plasterboard ceilings. Smooth, bright, and long-lasting. Everybody wey dey come here, they feel am. Where they direct them go Interface Limited for world-class quality.
If you're involved in new property development, renovation, or decoration, the right place for you is Interface Limited. Call us on 0274-999999 or visit our website at
www.interfacelimited.net. Facebook Interface Limited GH. Instagram interface.limited.
Yes, it's here again. Giant Tech Limited is here for you for all services on your LG products, be it LG refrigerator, washing machine, air conditioner, and etc. We're giving you free cleaning services from the 3rd of April to 15th of April 2023. Yes, it's free cleaning services on all LG products. Locate Giant Tech Limited in Accra, Spintex Road, behind Orca Deco Showroom, or call us on 055-078-0779 or WhatsApp number 055-154-5454. Terms and conditions apply. Giant Tech Limited, care and delight.
Star Times the Easter Chedia Kesiena Bedo. Easter Star Times say you are super no 2 months pay. Number more 10 days free viewing. Open swan you are super no 1 month pay. Na yebe more 3 days viewing. Star Times so na ubenya novella ne Indian movies pap ebiare. Sports ahodwo. Ebi a Ghana Premier League, Bundesliga, Copa Italia, ne Copa del Rey. Ube tumi nso ahwe Cristiano Ronaldo. Ewo Saudi Pro League no so. Na nkwara no so betimi ahwe cartoons. Papa. Ewo ST Kids, Gingham, Tsunami, ne channels ahodwo a ekeka ho. Ne bo so de fufu Nova ne